Hello everyone to the final draft review of this last semi-final between Downwalker and Mad Lions. It has come to the first Game 5 at this year's MSI, so let's get right into the draft and check out who will set themselves up perfectly for the last and deciding game and who will be the one facing RNG in the finals tomorrow. So yeah, moving on here into it, we see Renekton being banned on blue side now. So first we saw Renekton being banned on red side every game. Now it's an OP pick in general, or just a pick Mad Lions doesn't like. Maybe they're allergic to it. I don't know. It's stupid. I mean, makes no sense. Especially banning it on blue side. I mean, red side Renekton is even worse. These two bans here, as mentioned before, against Armut, against Kaiser. The meta at the moment is a bit strange. There are certainly picks that are way stronger than others and could be considered OP, but the teams are not really utilizing them correctly, and as such they're also not prioritizing them to the same degree. So champions like the Rumble and like the Morgana in some cases are being left open. In similar situations we see, at least not now anymore, but in the Rumble stage we saw Lee Sin and Lucian being left open. Now, as there are players on the enemy team that can utilize these champions fairly well. Champions like the Morgana, like Lucian, and like the Lee Sin are being banned here by the teams. So the meta has many champions that are perceived as very strong, but only strong in the hands of certain players who can really max out the power level of the champion. At least that is my take on it. Otherwise, it would be very strange to explain how some champions are being banned in some cases and then again are not. Because certainly it is the team that is determining the variance of the power level of these certain champions. So, enough of that blah blah. We see Udyr here being picked for Illyria. Nothing too surprising. As mentioned, Illyria is one of the few junglers that does not want to play AP junglers, and his team overall is more comfortable with having a tank and an engaged champion in the jungle here. So yeah, that's fine, I guess. Like with the Morgana being banned, they get Canyon to pick Rumble, and theoretically, at least in their mind, Rumble loses to Udyr. I don't agree. Many don't agree. But yeah, some perceive it as such. Maybe Mad Lion is one of them, so they're completely fine with this. This rotation here is then expected. The Tristana being picked over the Kaiser has some advantages. First, you know the enemy here, Karzi, is going to pick Kaiser anyway. They don't care. So yeah, just pick the Tristana and then already get the good matchup. And then also a Ghost. Yeah, for me, he's a better Tristana player than Kaiser player, especially considering how this series goes. He had so many bad plays and he was sending it like a FedEx employee. As such, you're getting a bit of a safer champion for him that doesn't have to do anything, that can just sit and farm and take turrets, and then in the later stages can do more easier than the Kaiser. I think that's better for them. Obviously now Mad Lions gets their favorite bot lane, Kaiser Leona, which again has the early power level 2 plasma stacks and yada yada yada. Very good skirmishing. Leona and Kaiser also synergize with Udyr. We have seen these three picks so often together, like tic-tac-toe or whatever. There's nothing special to it, and that's on one side, it contributes and underlines the power of these champions, but on the flip side, it also shows that teams are firstly not very creative in how they want to approach the draft to gain their own advantages, and then for the enemy team, they have the same issue. They're not preparing like major counter picks to this. Yes, Tahm Kench and Morgana that could be considered counter picks against this pick, a single target lockdown, are being banned. There have to be other options here, and I think the long range champions here are a way to go. Here ShowMaker picking his favorite Zoe. last time I talked about Zoe, we saw Maple play it, and yeah, Maple is obviously a very strong Zoe player, but yeah, ShowMaker is probably the best. Like, yeah, maybe, like, there's Chovy, but yeah, Chovy is very strong on other champions too, and yeah, maybe, yeah, you could argue for either of them. So yeah, more long range, more pick, more AP burst. I mean, again, the issue, they are fairly squishy, and now we need some like tank and engage or peel and protect from the top lane and the support position. I mean, they can't go full blue versus the red champions here. They're banning out now some matchups that are quite decent into Zoe. In some regards, right? The Orianna having a decent control of the laning phase as a stable laner. TF with his gold card and Udyr can be very annoying for Zoe to deal with. And then obviously he's a way better side laner for later stages. Pick potential, yeah. And continuing here, Mad Lions, they're banning out champions that Damwon Gear would like to pick. So Rel being one of the options for the support position. Again, I mentioned they either are looking to get some engage to follow up after poking, or they're looking to peel and protect their poke line and their like backline in general. Yeah, and Rel not really doing the later, but doing the first. And Sion, yeah, staple pick for Khan. And yes, last game's performance was better, but overall, yeah, we saw some SKT Khan or like international SKT Khan come up. So yeah, that's strange. Let's hope that this is a support lock-in, because again, you can already counterpick support. You don't see top lane, so you now counterpick top lane. Support and mid lane could have been changed here, but Mad Lions has banned the Zoe before, so picking it up earlier is fairly okay. And yeah, it is possible here to set up the R3 with the two bans. There's a chance that R4 could suffer for this, but in this case here, where the support matchup is already being revealed, or the bot lane matchup in general, there's no huge issue with this. Silas here, he has some decent ults, so Tristana ult and Zoe ult, not really good, but he has the probably best ult to get. I mean, Gnar ult is also very OP, but Alistar ult is just, he can just go in, tank for like 10 minutes and yeah, do an absurd amount of damage. So yeah, that's a huge plus for him. And yeah, Rumble ult needs no introduction. If you can steal it, it's amazing. And they also get the Gnar. So Gnar on blue side, again, fairly good. With the Udyr, that matchup, they can deal with most Gnar counters in the 2v2s, and especially in the 2v1s. There's little you can do to get away from these two here. Overall, Mad Lions, yeah, they draft a similar comp to what they were playing for in the entire series here. Red, engage, early to mid game, and overall team fighting, brawling, very skirmish heavy. But even though some might not like this playstyle because it's very risky, and if you fall behind, you have no options to come back but fight, which makes you lose harder, right? Unless you like outplay. So this is a comp that can, is literally killing itself if they're dying, which is not that great, but at least they're sticking to their guns. That's what they've practiced. This is what they played the entire year long. Switching the gears here in the final game, probably not the best idea unless they have something super hidden. Jace would be total end here, as mentioned. He won't ever get away from the Nara Udyr combination. He would be a nice add-on in the terms of range, like mixing also the AD and AP damage here variants. But now they only have Alistar as a peel and engage option. Yes, Alistar can do both to a good extent, and especially barrel. So if you are not around, like 2 years ago, Barrel's Alistar was one of the most feared picks at 2019 Worlds. And since then he has improved as a player. You might not have seen that improvement in this series because he was standing it alongside Ghost, but yeah, he has certainly mastered a few other champions, but Alistar being his bread and butter core piece from back in the days where he made his debut and his first year in pro play. So high comfort for him here as well. Overall, high comfort for Beryl, high comfort for ShowMaker, high comfort for Khan. Yes, Mad Lions can say similar things. For Kaiser, Karzi, Ilyoya to a certain degree, right? He has not played Udyr that much in past years. And for Armut, his one-trick, two-trick champions here with the Wukong and the Gnar. He gets what he wants. Now he plays Lee Sin as well, but basically the same champions. So both teams opt for more comfort instead of huge OP picks, or at least on Mad's side, right? Which I would argue for is the way to go. It's game 5, man. You don't want to pick first time Nami top lane or some stuff like that, man. It's not going to work. So yeah, that's fine. In terms of how the game would go, what am I even going to say? We saw the games. They're doing some messed up shit, like messed up jungle routes, skipping camps here and there. Ilyoya sinning for his bot lane, and Ghost and Beryl like randomly engaging and mispositioning without wards. So it will be a total slugfest in the game again, which will benefit Mad Lions way more based on their team comp. But now the question is, will they be able to ride the snowball and take a great lead from the early game and then over the mid lane and then finish it up? This will be hard. I mean, if they fuck up once, it can be fairly hard to get back into the game. As I mentioned, if they get behind, their only way to come back and to make plays is to fight again, and they're fairly close range champions, so they really have to get into the stick of things. So yeah, if they fall behind, they're falling behind even faster because of the nature of their champions, and especially considering that Downward Kier with their long range, if ahead with vision set up, can look to pick, poke, and then destroy Mad Lions. Obviously, Downward Kier's comp is harder to play with little front line. If Alistar's not around, who is front checking, who is like engaging, especially into Mad Lions champions. So yeah, Downward Kier again with a harder comp to play. They fucked that up once in this series. I think it was game 2. So yeah, I can't say like Downward Kier has this 100% because they have been shaky as well. They dominated one game, then they end the next. Who knows at this point? But if I look at the comfort and if I look at the history, Downward Kier, they have what they need to make it out here. But at this point, I mean, it's a fucking coin flip, man. It's not like Downward Kier's comp is super good and coming back as well. They have similar issues, right? A poke comp, if they fall behind, they have little ways to front check, little ways to engage, right? It's only Alistar, and Alistar going into this team is also like he's not accomplishing too much, right? The follow up from long range, if that is blocked by any tank, then their entire team comp doesn't do anything in the entire fight. Alistar dies, and then they have to surrender every objective. So yeah, Downward Kier's comp is not infallible. They have similar issues. So yeah, both team comps are very aggressive. It's like a knife fight, you could say. If one gets hit and then he's bleeding out, and then he gets stabbed for, more and more by the other team, like fire versus fire. I don't know, man. They're both very high risk, high reward in a sense. So yeah, I'm just going to say Downward Kier win because I like the players more. But like if we talk about like certain specific matchups on the Rift, top lane can go either way with the jungle intervention. A blue side Gnar is fairly annoying here for Jace to deal with. Bot lane, ignore players, Tristana and Alistar. Alistar is a bit more safer here than what the Leona does, even though Tristana has the like small range advantage in the like mediocre levels or like middle levels, like 5, 6, 7. Till then, the range advantage is neglectable and not even there. The push and threat of Kaiser Leona will be way more valuable. So yeah, that should be in Matt's favor as well. But then, yeah, we also know how these players play, and from that point, it's a clown fiesta. But that's what we're here for. But that's also it. We have to now watch the game, and yeah, like root for either team, and then see who will be facing RNG tomorrow. Obviously, we will talk about tomorrow's draft as well. Till then, I wish you all a great day. If you liked any of the videos today or what I talked about in this clip, please consider giving this video a thumbs up, and to not miss out on tomorrow's daily content and future content as well, you might want to consider subscribing to my channel. And yeah, if you have any like recommendations, what I should talk more about in these drafts here, there are obviously a lot more details that one could dive into, then post that in the comments down below. I'm sure to respond to that, also to any questions, right? If you don't know any of the details or nuances that I might only teased a bit, ask away down below. Again, I respond quickly, but that's it for today.